So today we are going to be discussing audiobooks, what's available, and how you can listen to them. So I'm going to be discussing around about 3 or 4 major providers of talking books and talk about the costs involved and how you join, etc. So let's get going. So I'm going to do a little bit of an intro here. So welcome everybody to the Let's Talk Tech webinar for April 2024. And this one is on the subject of audiobooks, what's available and how you can listen. So talking books or audiobooks, they both mean the same thing, have been around for a long time nowadays. However, the way in which we can listen to audiobooks has changed over the years, and it's now much more flexible in how you can listen to an audiobook compared to, say, many years ago when it was an audio cassette or even 8-track cassettes. Going back probably 40 years, you used to get a cassette that went into your cassette player and it would play, then you turned it over, this is the second side, and then you would press a button on your machine, turn it over again, listen to the third side and fourth side, etc. Quite complicated to understand, but it was 8 sides on one cassette. And it moved on to single cassette, and now we're into the age of digital. And that's what I want to talk to you about primarily today, how we can listen to our audiobooks through digital media. So, can I just ask briefly, anybody in this group use audiobooks?
Yes.
Yes, that's Brian, is it?
Yeah.
Anybody else books? Shout out. No, so that's going to be quite good. So there'll be some things here that you'll be able to take advantage of, I'm sure, going forward. So let's start with the largest provider of audiobooks in the UK, and that is Amazon's Audible service. So many people, I'm sure, have heard of Audible. It's advertised on TV quite a lot, on the radio, and Audible, although they're audiobooks, they're actually used by tens of thousands of fully sighted people use Audible books, listen to them in the car on the way home or in the shower, whilst doing the cooking. So Audible is not designed specially for people with vision impairments. It just happens to work so well for them. And Audible is a subscription-based service, so it's not free. There are many different subscriptions. I'll discuss each one in a second. But initially, when you join Audible, you get 30 days free. So it's a trial period to see whether you like the service, whether you like the quality of the books, etc. And you can join the Audible service in a number of different ways. You can join online at the Amazon's website, select the Audible link from their website, and then you can sign up to join. You do need an Amazon account to join Audible. So that's one thing you need to bear in mind. And when you sign up, you'll have instant access to in the region of 250,000 books in audio format. So there's a lot of books there. They all pretty much up to date. So if a new book is released, for example, a new book by Robert Galbraith, and that's released and in the shops on the 1st of May, the audio version will also be ready on the 1st of May, which is absolutely fantastic. No other organisation does this, and has the audio books available at the same time as the printed version. Audible costs £7.99 a month to join. Okay, and for that you get what's called 1 credit. And a credit is essentially a book. 1 credit equals 1 book. Sometimes a book is 2 credits, depending on the size of the book. But I'd say 90% of the time, 1 credit is 1 book. So essentially, when you sign up for a month, you get 1 book a month, and that's £7.99. That's not the cheapest way of taking advantage of Audible, though. You can sign up for 2 books, 2 credits a month for £14.99, so a slight saving there, but not significant. Or if you're a really avid reader of audiobooks, you can get 12 credits for £69, which works out just under £5 a book. Or you can get 24 credits for £109, which is around about £4.25 or thereabouts for a book. So, so that brings the cost right down, and that's cheaper than what you would buy the book for in the shops most of the time. So if you bought the £109 subscription to Audible, you get 24 books, or maybe 20 books at 1 credit and perhaps 2 books at 2 credits for your £109. The quality of the books is fantastic. They're all done by professional actors and actresses. Really, really, really smart operation. You can listen to Audible books on your Amazon smart speaker if you have one. So that's an Echo device with the thing called Alexa. I just don't want to set mine off. Yeah, so you can listen to on a smart speaker, on a smartphone or tablet with the Audible app, or you can listen on a PC using the Audible application for PC. Audible, I will demonstrate Audible here because we don't actually have a subscription at Site for Surrey for Audible, but you can also get free books from Audible each month. They're not normally particularly, good books in my view, but let's just see how this might work. So I'm going to use my smart speaker and say, Alexa, what's free with Audible this month?
One moment while I find a selection of books for you. Here's a book you might like. Utopia by Sir St. Thomas More. The Kindle ebook is £0. Try saying things like here a summary, get ratings, or next recommendation.
Next recommendation.
Sure. I'll recommend another one. Wives and Daughters by Elizabeth Cleghorn Gaskell. The Kindle ebook is £0. Want to hear more about the book?
No.
What do you want to do?
Stop.
Goodbye.
So I just stopped it there because that wasn't actually what was supposed to happen. You should be able to say what's free with Audible, and it will say this month there are 3 books free with Audible. They are The Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling, or Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling, etc. And then it will ask you, would you like to listen to it? And you can say yes to listen and just sit back and enjoy the book. However, the free books tend to be quite old books, like classics, sort of Charles Dickens type books. But nevertheless, for some people that might be a nice little listen to. So Audible is the biggest provider of audiobooks in the UK. It's not generally free. It's £7.99 upwards per month. Sorry, £7.99 per month, or there are different subscription packages. I think the one that offers the best value is the £109 for 24 books, but you do have to be rather an avid reader to get the most out of that. So the app for Android smartphones and tablets is available in the Play Store. Just need to search for Audible and you will find it. It'll be at the top of the list. And on iPhone and iPad, it's in the App Store. Again, just search for Audible. It'll be at the top of the list. You can download and install it. Doesn't take too long. You will need to sign into the app using your Amazon username and password. And once you've done that, you should be able to listen to your books on your iPhone or other smartphone or tablet. So I'm going to leave that for a second, Audible, and I'm going to talk about the next biggest provider of audiobooks in the UK, and that is the RNIB. Excuse me. So RNIB have in the region of 40,000 books available for download or borrowing on CD or memory stick. They're all free. You do need to have what's called an RNIB Reading Services account in order to take advantage of that. You can sign up online at the Reading Services website, which I will send out to you in a email after the presentation this morning. So once you've got your RNIB subscription, you can listen in a number of different ways. I'm going to demonstrate some of those ways in a second. Please bear with me. Someone just came into the room. Can I help you?
Someone's in the waiting room right now. Someone's in the waiting room, Gary.
Okay, I just got someone else joining the meeting. I'll just let them in. So just letting 2 more people into the meeting. Please bear with me. Hello, newcomers. How are you? So we have 2 new people. I'm not too sure who they are, but we'll carry on and pick up from where we left off. So just to recap, RNIB, second biggest provider of audiobooks in the UK, in the region of 40,000 books. Membership is by joining the RNIB Reading Services, which is online. You can also join RNIB Reading Services by calling the help desk at RNIB. Again, information will be sent out after the meeting containing all the relevant details. Once you have joined, you have a number of different ways of playing audiobooks. And I'm going to demonstrate 3 different ways of playing audiobooks from the RNIB. And these largely depend on how you have chosen to receive your book. The most common way is as a digital download on an iPhone or an Android smartphone or a tablet. So I'm going to take my iPhone here and I'm going to open up my application for this program. Now, you need an app to be able to listen to these books. And one that is extremely popular and very accessible is called Dolphin Easy Reader. Okay, and Dolphin Easy Reader is produced by the company Dolphin, who typically make software products for PCs. And this is downloadable from the App Store or the Play Store, depending on what device you have. Just search for Dolphin Easy Reader and it will pop up. It'll probably be the first one in the list. It'll say something like accessible audiobook player, and you can install that onto your phone. It'll probably take about a minute to install it. But during that process, you will be asked to create a Dolphin account. Now, this doesn't involve any money exchanging between you and Dolphin. It's just simply you enter your email address and you choose a password that you would like to use for the future. Once you've created that account and signed into it, you won't need those details again. However, I would recommend making a note of them and putting them somewhere safe, because from time to time things go wrong with smartphones and tablets and you'll need to enter those details again. But generally speaking, once you've created that account, Dolphin account, you won't need those details again. And Dolphin, all Dolphin do with that information is monitor how many people are using the app. So once you've got that on your phone, you can then listen to RNIB Talking Books through it. I'm just going to open my app here. Open Easy Reader. So what I've got on my phone here is a book by Stephen King. I've been reading it for months now. I just can't seem to get myself motivated to finish it off, to be honest. And this book, I'm just going to open it up. I've got an interface here where I've got at the bottom of the screen, I've got a play button, a fast forward, a rewind, and I can also do things like jump to specific chapters, add bookmarks, etc. I'll just play it here.
You're not felt so young or so
So it's not very loud, I appreciate that. I can just pause it and restart it at the press of a button. I'll just pause it there. I actually like this app. It's probably the easiest way for me to access Talking Books. Once you've got the app on the screen, there's a simple search option at the top of the screen where you can search for a book. It lists all the books that it's found. Usually you search for an author or the title of a book. I choose to search for an author. I pick the book. I then choose to download it to my phone, and it's on there until I've finished with it. I don't have to return it at all within 30 days or anything like that. So this app, Dolphin Easy Reader, in conjunction with RNIB reading services, provides a really nice, simplistic way of getting audio books. There is a bit of a setup process to go through, and at Site for Surrey, we have volunteers that can help you do that if you don't feel confident enough to have a go yourself. So that's one way of playing an audio book through the RNIB. I'll demonstrate a second way. And that is to use a USB player. Now these devices, USB players, are on the market. You can get them from Amazon or indeed from RNIB and indeed from Site for Surrey. They're just called a memory stick player or a USB stick player. And they are usually square or circular in shape. There's a slot on the device to put a USB stick. So I just pushed it into the device. I'm going to turn this on.
Power on. External audio.
And
Chapter 2. On the journey back to his office on Wall Street, Antonio Cavalli began.
I'm just going to pause that there. On the front of the device, you have a play, rewind, and fast forward option. And on the top of the device, you have a pause and resume option. So on my device here, here we are. I'm going to resume the audio.
More seriously about Eady.
I also have a volume control.
The file on his new client, supplied by their London office and updated by his secretary Debbie, revealed that although the deputy...
It's going right down now. I'll put it back up.
He had been educated in England. When Cavalli leaned back, closed...
I'll just stop it there. Now, this is a really non-technical way of playing audiobooks. You push the memory stick into the back, switch the machine on, and it starts playing from where you left it. If you want to rewind, you can rewind with the rewind and fast forward switches on the front of the device, and the volume is on there as well. This particular model I have here, I honestly don't know what it's called. I borrowed it from Marilyn in the Resource Centre. But the most popular version of these players is called the Sonic. That's S-O-N-I-C. And the Sonic is just undergoing a revamp. They're bringing out a new model of it. And Marilyn tells me it's kind of oval in shape with a flat bottom. It will have a fairly nice speaker in it, and they're about £60 to buy. Maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less, but that sort of price. The memory stick is sent out to you by RNIB. It generally contains 3 books. There is a button on the device for switching between books, and then you can play all 3 books one after the other if you wanted to. When you finish with the memory stick, you pop it into the supplied envelope and put it back in the post, and it goes off to RNIB. And when they receive that book, they send you 3 more books. Now, initially, the books are random choices. They send you books based on what your likes are. You discuss that when you sign up for the service. You might say, I'm into thrillers or into murder mysteries, and they'll send you random books. Alternatively, you can agree over the phone with RNIB to send you specific books. You might want to listen to all of the Harry Potter books, for example, from book 1 to book 7, and they'll send you them out sequentially. You might want to listen to all books by James Patterson or something like that. So you can choose which books you receive, usually over the phone with a representative from RNIB. If you decide to sign up for the reading services online system, you can just search for a book of your own choice. I'm going to put this device down and look at a third way of playing books from the RNIB. So the third way of playing books from the RNIB is to use a smart speaker, in particular, the Amazon Echo smart speaker. I don't think currently you can use a Google Nest device to play RNIB talking books. It has to be an Amazon Echo device. I have a Echo Dot here. It's quite an old version of the Echo Dot, but it's perfectly adequate for this purpose. And I'm going to ask my helpful friend to open up the RNIB talking books skill. Alexa, open RNIB talking books.
Good to see you again. Would you like to continue playing The Sins of the Father by Jeffrey Archer?
Yes. For some reason, there's a bit of
Clinging on
delay.
to the vain hope that at some time in the future, I might be able to prove that Hugo Barrington is not my father, and that I am, in fact, the son of Arthur Clifton. At least this way she can consider a future with someone else. I envy that man. I plan to
Alexa,
return to England on the
pause.
See you soon.
Okay, now when I pause it and go back into it, it just comes back on from where I started. I can also rewind and fast forward. Let's just try that. Alexa, play.
Here's a station you might like.
Alexa, stop.
please.
Alexa, open RNIB talking books.
Welcome back. Would you like to continue playing The Sins of the Father by Jeffrey Archer?
Yes.
first available ship.
Alexa,
So should you
fast forward.
receive any communication from a Tom Bradshaw, you can assume it's me.
Alexa,
I'll be in touch with you.
stop.
Goodbye.
So I'm gonna now demonstrate how to search for a book using this device. Alexa, open RNIB talking books.
Welcome back. Would you like to continue playing The Sins of the Father by Jeffrey Archer?
No.
Please pick one of the following: audiobooks, bookshelf.
Audiobooks.
To look up a book, say find followed by the title, or list books by author.
Find books by James
We have
Patterson.
more than 20 books matching. Books. You
Alexa,
can
find books by James Patterson.
Thank you for your request, but we currently don't have any books matching books by James Patterson. To look up a book, say find followed by the title, or list books by author.
Okay. List books by
I did
James.
not understand.
Alexa,
Try.
list books by James Patterson.
We have more than 160 books matching James Patterson. You can interrupt me at any time by saying Alexa. Say the number matching the book on the list. To pick The Perfect Assassin by James Patterson, say 1. To pick Invisible by James Patterson, say 2. To pick Instinct by James Patterson, say 3. To pick Murder, Interrupted by James Patterson, say 4. To pick Hawk by James Patterson, say 5. To pick Max Einstein, The Genius Experiment by James Patterson, say 6. To pick Ali Cross by James Patterson, say 7.
Let's go
To
for
pick
number.
The Black Book by
I'm going to go
James
for number
Patterson,
5.
say 8.
Alexa,
To pick,
5.
you picked Hawk by James Patterson. To read from the beginning, say play. To add this book to the bookshelf, say add. Or choose one of the following.
Alexa,
Take.
play.
Now, here is your book. When you are done reading, say cancel.
This book has been kindly donated to RNIB by Penguin Random House. It has been made under Section 31B of the Copyright Designs and Patents Act 1988, as amended by the Copyright and Rights and Performances to Disability Regulations 2014.
So it's all the usual
For use by persons
copyright
meeting the
information.
criteria set out within these regulations and may not be further copied, including any electronic copying or transmission. The copyright vests in Penguin Random House. Thank you to Penguin Random House for kindly making this audiobook available for free.
Not to you. by Penguin.
Feel like a biscuit now.
Hog by James Patterson and Gabrielle Charbonnet. Read by Chloe Cannon. Prologue. I solemnly promise this one thing to myself.
Alexa,
I
stop.
See you soon.
So the process is a little bit, what would I say, it's a little bit slow initially to get your book up and running. But once you've got it on there, it's really good. It plays fairly instantly once you restart the book. And it's a very easy process. Just a few key phrases that you need to become familiar with. And you could find books and play them quite easily using one of these devices. So I think for many people, that's becoming the default way now of listening to a book. These devices, Amazon devices, smart speakers they're called, start at about £50 and go all the way up to about £200. Occasionally, well, I say more than occasionally, probably every month, Amazon have a sale and they often have these devices at 25% off. So there's a good saving to be had if you pick one of these devices up in the sale. So typically the Echo Dot is reduced from £50 to £30 in a sale. And that device is perfectly adequate for listening to a book. It's got quite good volume on it, quite bassy, easy to understand. So RNIB, I think that's the service that I go to first of all to find a book, because I don't really want to be paying, you know, £8 a month or 60 or 120 pounds a year, whatever it might be, for books. So I prefer to use the free ones if I can find them. Another organisation that provides audiobooks is called Calibre Libraries. And Calibre's been around for a long, long time. It's been around, I believe, since the 1960s. And they historically provided books on audio cassette. But like other places, they've moved into the digital age. They have an app that you can download onto your smartphone or tablet. You can also use the Dolphin Easy Reader app to play Calibre books. You can have a memory stick or a CD, much the same as RNIB, but they do have a smaller collection of books than RNIB. Membership to Calibre is free, and you can only join them by signing up online on the Calibre website. Information will be included in my handout that I'll send out later regarding how to join. They have about 10,000 books, or maybe a bit more than that, 10 or 11,000 books on audio formats, all read by actors and actresses, with a few read by volunteers. And some of the volunteers are actually really good readers, terrific readers, and they could well be actors if they chose to go down that line, I'm sure. But Calibre don't tend to have many modern books. You know, they're quite old books, you know, maybe 5-10 years old, if not a lot older than that. They certainly don't have as many modern books as RNIB and indeed Audible. So the three choices to recap are Audible, RNIB, and Calibre. There are other suppliers of audiobooks, including Surrey Libraries. All of the Surrey Libraries have audiobooks that you can download or borrow direct from the library. Most of them are on CD format. If you borrow them from the library, they're in digital format. If you download them, you need something to be able to play them on. And Surrey Libraries do have an app that you can use to download and listen to books. At this moment in time, I've completely forgot the name of the app, what that's called, but it is included again in my handout. So Surrey Libraries, there are online stores that sell audio books in CD format, and indeed they also offer download services. But I wanted to discuss the three big ones today: Audible, RNIB, and Calibre. The range of devices you can play them on is quite extensive nowadays. Certainly the RNIB books, you know, 3 or 4 different types of option for playing them on. You have CD, data stick, download, and smartphone and tablet. So if anyone's got any questions at this point, please do fire them at me.
Gary?
Is that Tricia, yeah?
Carol,
Carol, yeah.
it's not a question, but because of poor eyesight, I can't really cope with the online things. But for over a year, I've had a RNIB sonic reader, and I found it really, really good. And I just deal with them on the phone. I send them a long wish list. They keep coming out. Very good readers, and I've found it really brilliant.
It is good, isn't it, Carol? Because some people who struggle with technology a little bit, probably including yourself, Carol, with technology, the data stick is just such an easy way, isn't it? You don't have any stress or anything like that. You just put it in, get your cup of coffee or a whiskey, whatever it is you want to drink, and listen along to the book.
And you can take it around the house, of course, from room to room.
Yeah, they are either mains charged or they're portable, as you just said, battery operated.
This is mains charged, and it's very clear when you need to do it.
Yeah. I think it's a great sort of thing if you want to have a nice wallow in the bath, just take your audiobook with you, and what a great way to have a bath, isn't it? Listening to your book. So, Carol, how long have you been using audiobooks from RNIB?
Well, it's probably a year or a bit over a year. I mean, if I had full eyesight, then I could manage the online things, but not now.
Yeah. So, I was going to ask you a question. I forgot what it was now. So, you do yours over the telephone, Carol, don't you?
Yes.
You just mentioned that, yeah. And does that take long to do?
No, and they're extremely helpful, and it's all very quick and easy.
Yeah. I think it's a really good service, the RNIB, what they do with their audiobooks. And they are intending to grow their collection by around about 500 a year. That's what they're aiming to do. Whether they achieve that, I don't know. But that's a big task, isn't it? 500 a year.
They also send out regular, I get it through the post, updates on new books that they've got.
Yeah. And you can also get what's called the Signpost magazine from Sight for Surrey, which we produce twice a year. You can get that on a data stick as well, or a memory stick. Just pop it into your machine and you can listen to what's been happening at Sight for Surrey over the last 12 months or so. So really good device. Brian, do you use audiobooks?
Yeah, I do. I use Audible, but I've also got RNIB talking book service as well.
Okay, and how do you access that, Brian?
Well, Audible is obviously with the app, and RNIB talking book service I'm doing through the Dolphin player, which I'm struggling with, and I tend to listen to it via the smart speaker.
Okay. Yeah, and you're struggling with the app a little bit, Brian, yeah?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I do have a document on how to use the app in conjunction with VoiceOver. Would you like that?
Please.
Yeah, I mean, you can just forget the VoiceOver information in a way if you're not using VoiceOver, and just because I don't say double tap or anything, I just say activate. So although it's written for VoiceOver, you could follow along quite nicely without the VoiceOver prompts.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll send that out to you, Brian, because I think you might find that helpful.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you.
Okay.
Gary.
Chris. Oh, sorry, who's that?
Chris Kay. Chris.
Oh, Chris.
I did set up the RNIB app on my Amazon device, and it suddenly dropped off.
There is a snag with that, Brian. Sorry, Chris. There is a snag with that. If you use the smart speaker method of accessing books, after around about 2 months or so, it tends to forget the username and password. Did you find that, Chris?
It said you need to sign up to RNIB to do it.
Well, what you need to do in that event is go into your Alexa app, go to the skills section, and locate the skill called RNIB Talking Books.
Yeah.
And tap on that, and then there's an option in there called Link. And when you tap on,
that's what I did to first set it up.
Yeah. So when you tap on link, I think it says link account. It asks you to re-enter your username and passcode.
Right.
And if you do that, it will start working again.
Okay, I'll try and
Okay,
find
it is
the
it is a bug, and RNIB are aware of it. I don't quite know why it happens, but they are aware of it, and I think they will come out with a fix in the coming weeks or months.
All right, good, thank you.
Okay.
Is there a cost for the RNIB called Talking Books?
No, they're all free. So they're free to download or free to get on memory stick or CD if you choose to have it on CD. I think the memory stick is the better option because it's so much simpler than using a CD. So there is a cost of the device though. It's around, as I said earlier on, this device, I'll just show it. It's similar to this, but not the same. So it's similar layout. It's about £60, but it could be slightly more, slightly less. So it's definitely under £100 without a doubt. And that's the only cost you'll incur buying the device. The books themselves are free.
Mine was 50 something, but it may have gone.
They do vary, honestly, they do vary. They used the Sonic was £59.99 for years and years and years. It was that price. And for some reason, they've stopped producing the Sonic and they're bringing out an updated version of it. And I suspect that's going to have more flexibility with rewinding and fast forwarding and adding bookmarks, etc. And I would imagine it would be slightly more than £59.99 as well. But I'd be amazed if it's more than £70, to be honest with you. They like to keep their prices pretty competitive and cheap. That's not a bad thing to pay, really, because it's so flexible. You can put you can put music on there. If you have some music on a memory stick, you can play songs or videos or anything that's on a memory stick, it will play it.
So the three options, to sign up for the RNIB reading services, is totally free then, is it?
It's totally free. I think the website is called readingservices.rnib.com. However, don't hold me to that. It's in my handout that I send out.
Lovely.
And when you go onto that website, there is a link called register.
Yeah.
And when you click on the register link, it asks you for your email address and some information about yourself, where you live, your date of birth, those sort of general sort of things. And then it asks you to create a password that you would like to associate with your email address. Mine's just 6 characters. You can have it between 6 and 20 characters or something like that. I'd have a nice simple one to remember. And once you've created that account, you will receive an email from RNIB asking you to finalize your setup. So what happens is you receive an email. In that email, there's a link that you activate. It takes you back onto the RNIB website. And you have to complete things like, would you like to receive marketing information? Would you like to receive news about new books? Now, strangely, it says, would you like to receive? You can't say no. so there are 2 tick boxes you have to tick. And then there's a done button at the very, very bottom. And you activate that button and that's it. You're ready to start downloading books. So it's quite a quick process. You could do all that within about 15 minutes, all being well.
Okay.
The next process would be setting up your Amazon Echo device to connect to the RNIB Talking Books library. Again, I've got information on that. I'll send it out to everybody after this meeting. And there's also information on how to connect to the Dolphin Easy Reader service. So it's not quite as straightforward as it could be initially, but once it's all set up, it's a doddle to access the books. And that's why possibly having a memory stick and a player is easier than going through all that setup process. But we do have volunteers that can help with that.
Question.
Yes.
You know, when you sort of download books and things, obviously that's going to take up memory on your smartphone. Is there a way of deleting it
Yes, there
afterwards?
is. Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
When you finish with the book, you can go into the book information screen.
Yeah.
And in there's an option called remove book or delete book. I think it's remove book.
Okay.
And that takes it off your device.
Would that same would apply, I suppose, with Audible, would it?
Yes. Yeah. Although you don't, Audible's slightly different in a sense, Brian, because those books aren't downloaded to your device. I think they're played from the website directly.
All right. Okay.
So I don't think they're downloaded to your device, but you still can delete them in Audible.
All right.
If you wanted to take one of the books out of your library, for example,
Yeah.
you can delete them. So
Okay, because that was my main worry. Because I thought, well, I've got 5 books on Audible. And I thought, well, I've read 2 or 3 of them, and I thought, well, now how do I delete them?
I'll find out for you. Is this on the app, Brian?
Yeah.
I'll find out for you and let you know.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
wanted to know about the Audible. If you, this is Tricia.
Yeah.
If you pay £7.99 and get 1 book a month,
Yeah.
at the end of the month, if you haven't finished that book, is it still available to you?
Yes, it
when
carries
you
over,
order your
Trish.
second one?
Yeah, it carries over.
Does.
So if you paid £7.99 and then didn't use that £7.99 in that month, it carries over to the next month. So essentially, the next month you'll be charged £7.99 again, but you'll have 2 credits.
Okay. And if you buy the 12 credits, say, how long is that within a year, or is there no time limit on that?
The 12-month one, I think it's within the year.
Well, where you said it was £69 for 12 credits.
Yeah.
Is that for a year, or is that if you only use them, if it takes 2 years, would they still be there?
They'd still be there, but the £69 is for 12 months. So let's say you'd only read 8 books.
Oh, so that's per year.
If you'd only read 8 books, Trish.
Yeah.
And then the next year you subscribe for another £69. You'll have 12 books plus the 4 that you didn't use. You have 16 books.
Okay. So it's a subscription, not a block buy, and however long it takes you. It's for a year.
You can roll over the credits.
Lovely. Okay.
And also on Amazon, you can suspend your reading as well. So let's say you knew that you weren't going to read a lot of books in a particular month. Maybe you was going away for a month somewhere and you weren't going to read any books. You can suspend your membership.
Oh, that's good.
And then you won't pay the £7.99.
And the other thing was that the library app is called Libby.
That's it, Libby. Well done, Trish. Yep, that's 1 point to you, Trish. Libby. I've never used it, Trish. Have you used it?
No, I've got the Libby app on my phone, but I haven't actually used it. It looks a bit clunky to use. I don't know. And I can see, so
yeah.
I'm not sure how it would be for somebody who was partially sighted.
I must admit, I don't really see much value, to be honest, in borrowing books from the library because they've got a very limited choice, probably 500 or 1,000 books at the most, perhaps. And you might just well subscribe to RNIB, to be honest.
Well, one of our macular support group people, they swear by it. They go to they live in Hampshire, and she orders them from the library and gets them from the library. Whatever she gets, I don't know whether it's CDs or what. And she says it's absolutely fantastic service and thinks it's brilliant.
Yeah. Well, if you're not into digital, like smartphones and tablets, that can be a really good way, kind of just supporting your local library as well, and having something on a CD, quite nice to use.
Which was the service that you had to pay for?
Audible.
Audible.
That's Amazon's service.
Okay.
They are very, very good, I would say. The quality of the books, the readers, they've got musical interludes in there, and all sorts of stuff. Really, really well produced. But they do come at a cost. But on the other hand, if you was a fully sighted person and you was an avid reader, you'd probably spend more than £7.99 a month on a book anyway, wouldn't you?
Yes.
So it's not the end of the world, really. And it's a good thing to spend our money on. If we've got money to spare, why not get yourself a nice subscription to Audible? That's what I would say. So with regards to audio books, it may be that you join 2 services or sometimes 3 services. You may join RNIB, that's the free one. Audible, you might join the 12 books a year option, and you might join Calibre as well. I mean, I'm a member of all 3. but I only really use RNIB Talking Books to read my books on my phone primarily. Although I could use it on my smart speaker, I just find using my phone so much easier for controlling the rewinding and fast forwarding and jumping to certain sections of the book. Because on the smart speaker at the moment, although you can fast forward and rewind, it's only by like chapter. You don't have by a set amount of seconds or minutes or anything like that. So the phone, you can rewind and fast forward in tiny amounts or huge amounts, depending on what you want to do. So I think for many people, the smart speaker is the easiest, but it isn't necessarily the most, what's the good word? I can't think of a good word. It's not the most flexible, I would say, for jumping around your book. The Dolphin Easy Reader app is the best thing for me.
Can you use the Dolphin Easy Reader on an iPad?
Yes, you can. Yeah, yeah. It works really well on iPhone. I think it was possibly initially designed for the iPhone back probably 5, 6, 7 years ago was when it was initially designed for the iPhone, and then about 4 years ago it came to Android. So it's not quite so good an experience on Android, but it's still not bad at all.
So you can use it on an iPad.
You put it on an iPhone. The app itself is free. The membership to RNIB is free. It just takes a bit of setting up, and I can help with that, or I can ask one of our volunteers to visit you and set it up for you if you struggled. Okay. Any more questions? Come on, fire some questions at me.
What's the difference between those and say Apple Books?
Not a lot of difference really. Apple Books again is a subscription. I'm not too sure the prices of Apple Books. I think it's $9.99 a month. I think you get 1 or 2 books for that. Probably 2 books for that. But there's not much difference really. Apple Books is very similar to Audible. I don't know anybody, Brian, that uses Apple Books. Do you?
No, well, I don't know. I actually deleted the app because, you know, sometimes when Apple decides to bring out their latest software, you get a whole load of apps that you don't just use. And
No, of course you don't. Right.
I just remove them.
So yeah, take the app. If you're not using it, just take the app off your phone.
Yeah.
Create a bit of space, extra space. Or you can choose to what's called offload apps. So it doesn't delete them from your phone. It just stores the information on the cloud.
All right, yeah.
And then when you want to use it, you activate the icon and it re-downloads it back to your phone.
Yeah.
So offloading is probably a bit better than deleting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have an in your pocket device.
You've got a which device?
An in your pocket.
Yes. Yeah. Funny you should mention that. I was going to talk about in your pocket. I have got one. I'm not sure. Give me 1 second. I'll just grab one. Yeah, I do have a in your pocket device. Just get it out. I'm hopeful it's got some charge in it. If it hasn't, we're a bit stuck.
I was gifted one as part of a trial, and I do find it very good. I just use it for my audio books, but it does explore the RNIB, Calibre, and a few other libraries at the same time, which I think is very good.
It is a good device. They're bringing out an updated version, are they not, Chris?
I don't know. I'm happy with the one I've got. It was free, so what can I say?
So this device, I'll discuss this in a second. I'll just get it turned on. Just turning itself on, I believe. Come on, please turn on. So this device is just purely for playing audiobooks and a few other things which I'll discuss in a second. And it's all voice activated. There's no typing to be done on the device. Everything is done by voice. Click the button below the screen for the turn and say Unfortunately, I can't get the volume very high on this. But I'll discuss what's happening here.
That's maximum volume.
So on this device, people see this device?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is essentially a smartphone, but it's been customized by a company called Real Sam. That's what the company's called, Real Sam. They've customized it so that you can't get into the standard phone as a phone. So it's primarily for playing audiobooks and newspapers. I can listen to podcasts on this. I can make phone calls. I can send text messages, etc. Let's just see if I can get it to work. List books.
You do not have access to the internet. Configure your Wi-Fi by pressing enter for 15 seconds and then follow the instructions. Okay, so I'm not going to get to the internet, but I could say find audiobooks by Jeffrey Archer, for example, and it works like an Amazon Echo. It'll say I've found 39 books by Jeffrey Archer. I'm going to read out the first 5. If you want one of those 5, say the number. If you don't want one of those 5, say next. And it will keep listing books until you find one. You say the number that you want. It will ask you, do you want to play it? And if you say yes, it will play the book to you. And you can do all sorts of things. You can say things like jump forward 3 minutes, jump forward 6 chapters. There's quite a few phrases, I think, Chris, isn't there? You need to learn to use these.
Yeah.
But it's a very good device, and it runs on Wi-Fi and also data on your smartphone's SIM card. Going back to, you can make calls on this. Let's just try calling someone. Let's see what happens. Oops.
Add network to add. Add network to add.
Cancel.
Add network to add.
Okay, so it's trying to force me to add to my network. I could just press a button and say call Gary, and it would call my mobile phone more or less instantly. There's a slight delay because it's having to communicate with the internet all the time. But yeah, one of these devices, Chris, is really good. These are about £26 a month to buy, and you buy it over a 2-year deal. So it's not cheap, okay, £26. However, it does include, I think it's about 30 national newspapers, and then they come out on the day, the same time as you would buy it from a paper shop in the morning. There's a number of magazines, probably about 50 magazines you could get access to. Podcasts, dozens and dozens and dozens of podcasts, all available through this one audio-driven device. Do you think that's good value, Chris, for one of these, £26 a month?
I'm afraid I was gifted mine for free. I don't use it any longer for phone calls because I don't know who's paying for it, but I do use it for the audiobooks exclusively.
Yeah, and you use it through your Wi-Fi in the house. Yeah. So thanks for reminding me of that, Chris, because I did forget about mentioning this. So in your pocket, it's available from a company called Real Sam, and you used to be able to get this from the RNIB. I think you still can, but I wouldn't guarantee that, because RNIB and Real Sam had a partnership about 4 or 5 years ago when they were designing this. It used to be called RNIB in your pocket. That's what its initial name was. Then they changed it just to become in your pocket. And I think you have to order it online. So go to the in your pocket website. It's in my handout. And then you can order it online. You can call them up and have a chat with them about the device. So it's all pretty much online nowadays for getting this device. They were going to bring out a version that you could use on your smart speaker, but I think they abandoned that as soon as the RNIB brought out their talking books skill, because it'd be duplication really. So they seem to have abandoned the app for the smart speaker. I actually wish they could put an app out for a phone, like a smartphone. So instead of going to RNIB Talking Books or Dolphin Easy Reader, you went to in your pocket and chose your book directly from there. I think that's a better way of doing it from their point of view. But they don't want to go down that line, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Brian, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was just commenting what you said because that's what I was just thinking about. Because if they did an app, it'd be easier.
Of course it would, yeah. But of course, with an app, you couldn't use just your voice, could you?
No.
They want to keep it as simple as possible for people, and you just press one of the. There's 3 buttons at the bottom of this device. I don't quite know whether there's 3 because they all do the same thing. You can press any of these buttons and then give it a command. For example, what's the weather like outside, or call Chris, or find books by Jeffrey Archer, and it will just respond to your commands. A little bit like using Siri on an iPhone. That's how you should treat it. But yeah, nice device. It's quite expensive in my view, considering you've got all these other options that are much less cost. I'll put that down there.
Thank you.
So, unless anyone's got any questions, I think my presentation is just about done. I'll pass the hat round in a minute. You can all put 20p in it if you want. Very nice.
Through.
But,
Audio's now unmuted, isn't it?